Yo, what is up, 5-9 gamers? It is that time once again on a Saturday for the Dokkan Battle Podcast. We are here with episode 58, neither Goku nor Vegeta. So, can you guess what the big topic for today is? So, as always, I am your host, the Master Ningen, and I am joined by some very special guests this week. We have a full house this week, so we have, first up, the man himself, DaTruth. How's it going, dude?
Hello! 5-9 gamers.
We have the homie himself, Goresh.
Hello, good to be here.
We have Minato.
Hey everyone.
And we have our boy Tystra.
What is up, my dudes?
There you go. So, obviously, the title gives it away. The big theme for this week's episode is the release of Tech LR Gogeta on Global. Big hype. People have been waiting a long time. Debate's been raging on JP since his release about him and the Vegito, but definitely people very excited for this to come to Global. And we definitely got a big W. So we'll start off with Goresh, as obviously he is our big whale global main. So how did the Gogeta summons go? I'm assuming you went in for the rainbow.
Yeah, they were pretty good. Can't really complain too bad. I think it took me like 4,500 or so. So
Okay.
not like despair level bad, but it wasn't like incredible luck, right? Because you have to also factor in the free multis and tickets. So.
Yep, true. I guess that's not too bad. That's how many it took me to pull one copy of Vegeta during the anniversary. So I guess we can't complain too much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Yeah.
That was great fun.
That includes tickets, too.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
boy.
over 4,000 stones, and then I finally got a copy of him with the rainbow thank you ticket. So he didn't even actually pull him with stones. But Tystra, I know you play both, but you main global. How did you get on summoning for Gogeta?
What's funny is I only had to do one rotation to get the one Gogeta and the one Gotenks. So
Nice.
I was sitting pretty. I got more than enough stones for heroes when it comes out.
Yeah. That's what we like to hear. So, our thoughts on Gogeta. So, Truth, obviously, you've had access to this unit for a lot longer than anybody else. You have him, Rainbow, of course. Tell us, what are your thoughts about Gogeta? How good is he? Where do you rate him? Let us know.
I think Gogeta is incredible. I think he's just like the best super tech unit in the game. Very, very good. It's just kind of like he's so similar to the SCR Vegito. And then it's like, look at it on global. It's what, 15 months, 16 months since Vegito came out. And they're, at worst, they're like equivalent to each other, right? They're comparable. And I feel like it's probably not the way they should have done it. I feel like they should have just made Gogeta way better. But I mean, every unit that comes out, I just like, it's like, yeah, they could have made him better. Because it's not PvP, right? You know, when people are excited, it's like, oh my god, it's crazy! Like, everyone is loving it, right? Like, you know, like, dude, Gogeta should have triple supered, and he should have had 50% damage reduction. Like, Super Gogeta. Like, how people would be going crazy, man. They don't love it.
True. So yeah, the debate, of course, rages on and probably will for a long time. But like you said, he's very comparable to Vegito. He's essentially the Gogeta counterpart for that unit, but released a lot later. And people still, I think the general consensus is that Vegito is better. So Minato, what do you think on that particular subject?
I mean, I feel like they're kind of even. I would probably prefer Vegito just because I kind of like his transformation condition better, and I like his leader skill better as well. But I mean, they're very similarly built units. I feel like because some people think Gogeta's worse, they think he's just not good for some reason, which is not the case. Tystra Vegito is still a very, very strong unit, and you know, it's in my opinion, it's not like the worst thing that they're both very similar to each other. At least Gogeta being similar to Vegito, although he released a long time ago, Vegito is still very good to this day. So I also like his orb changing as well. Gogeta's orb changing is definitely very helpful for a lot of the teams he's on.
And so Goresh, obviously you did rainbow him as well. So what's your experience been? Have you tried him out on a similar team setup or the same team as Vegito? What are your thoughts on the whole Vegito versus Gogeta debate?
My thoughts are that I like both. I don't really care who's better, really. My only real issue with
Based.
Gogeta as a unit is I feel like I don't understand why they made him a connected hope lead. I feel like if he was a movie hero lead, I would like him 7 million times better. And I feel the same thing goes for a lot of other people as well. The movie hero team is pretty much, I wouldn't say it's dead, but it's a team you don't want to run because of the fact that the leader's not that good, right?
Yeah.
So
But yeah, I kind of agree. Like, one might be better than the other, and regardless of what you think, like in that particular domain, they're both super fun to use. They're both great units. I've been having a lot of fun using Gogeta. Obviously, they work insanely well together. I think people's biggest complaint about Gogeta is the transformation condition. Tystra, what are your thoughts about Gogeta overall as a unit?
For the most part, I kind of have to agree with Goresh. The leader skill could have been a lot better, especially with movie heroes, because I remember loving using movie heroes as a team. Now it's an afterthought. So I kind of have to agree with that. But otherwise, like, you know, what's not to like? He's got damage reduction. He's got, you know, he gives himself an extra +2 key with rainbow key spheres. He changes key spheres to rainbow. Like, he basically just helps himself in that end. But yeah. I definitely. That's actually funny that you pointed that out, because I didn't even think about it until you said something like, "Holy crap, we don't have any good movie heroes like leads anymore, especially with the meta changing." So
yeah, and then meanwhile we get like movie bosses leads every other month almost.
yeah, exactly. So it's funny to think about, like, how that team could be so much better if we just gave this guy that lead spot. But other than that,
Yeah.
you know, he's a great unit.
The two biggest issues I have with this unit, I mean, by far the biggest one is the lead. That's what I already mentioned. Number two is if they just made the orb changing guaranteed for Rainbow, he would have been such a good unit. Imagine him being a movie hero lead and guaranteed Rainbow orb changer. You could just float him around on the movie hero
With
team
that
as a lead.
link set too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Yeah,
That
very
really
big.
would have helped Goku and Piccolo, by the way. A lot.
Yeah, definitely could have been better, but very, very strong unit. And in terms of strong, how about that banner? So, banner, very, very good. A lot of good units on there. 3 units, in fact, making their first return to Global. And of course, the big W is the discounted multis that we got as well. So,
Yeah, I think that this is like far and away one of the best global banners ever. Like the fact that PyCon, Janemba, and Trunks and Goten all coming back for the first time, like it's crazy. And the amount of discounts, it's not like they are pleading with global players to use anything they've got so that they have to buy for whatever's coming. I think either in December or Heroes or something big, like really they think is really hyped. It's going to get people to spend money is coming. It's got to be. Because the Gogeta, like they made the discount stuff way too good.
So yeah, would you say, I mean, I guess it's pretty obvious from that description what your answer to this would be, but if we go around everybody quickly, would you say that this banner is a must summon, whether it's just the discounts, whether it's one set of discounts, like what would you say to global players if we go around very quickly to everybody? So Truth, we'll start with you.
I do think so, but the one thing is that the discounts, like, they're not like timed discounts. It's just until the banner is up. So you can wait and see what Heroes is, because Heroes will be here before the Gogeta banner goes away, and there's no timed discounts on that, right?
Yep.
So that's another thing that makes me wonder if what they want everyone to blow their whole wad on is whatever's coming in December. Maybe a Global and JP celebration at the same time, or a Global First or something like that. And that's when I think that the Tiana Bata banner is going to be coming as well. It's still Christmas Day. But instead of Gogeta on it, it'll probably be a unit that's not out on either version yet.
Interesting. Goresh, what do you think? Is the banner a must summon?
Well, I would agree. I think we just don't know if it's a must summon yet, because we have time to wait and see what's coming out. But I think if you do decide to summon this banner, no one can tell you that you're wrong for doing that, right? I mean, this is not a banner where it's like, if you summon this banner, you're doing something incorrect. Like, this is a good enough value banner where if you summon, you're going to be getting something good 90% of the time. So if you want to summon, I don't think anybody's going to tell you that you're stupid for doing that. So
yeah, Tystra, Minato, I'm going to assume that you guys probably agree as well, unless you have any big changes you want to add.
Yeah, one thing I want to say is if the Tana banner does come on Christmas Day, like say last year the Blue Goku and Vegito Tana banner was on Christmas Day. Same with the Gohan and Goten one the year before, I believe. It is possible that Tech Gogeta may be available with coins when the banner comes back on Christmas. Like how say Gohan and Goten were available for coins the first year from what I recall. So that's something to kind of keep in mind as well. But we'll see if they want to really make them come back with coins that quickly. It's just that by the time the Christmas banner will come, this original banner will be gone. So technically he should be back with coins if he's the Christmas banner. So that would be pretty cool if that happens.
Could definitely be a possibility. So obviously with the return of a bunch of new units, the banner is pretty stacked. But of course the other new unit that released is the Agl Gotenks. So Tystra, you said you did pull him as well. What are your thoughts on this Agl Gotenks?
I mean, he's pretty good. Like, I'm not gonna say that he's terrible and have a very bad opinion like I did in the last podcast. Sorry again for heart attack Goku. My apologies. But no, like he's good. Like it sucks that he's restricted in that sense of versing one enemy versus two enemies, with the one enemy being the 50% critical hit and the guaranteed second attack with becoming a super with two. But he supports time limit, which is great. He has pretty decent stats, so yeah, it's just another pretty good side unit in my opinion in the general pool.
Interesting. Does anyone feel that that's maybe an underrating of Gotenks, or do you think that's about right?
I mean, I think his AoE stun in Super Battle Road, if you're able to get that off, that's just
Yeah.
so powerful. It makes him probably one of the greater units in the banner pool for Super Battle Road. I like the Gotenks a lot. I like his support type buff. I feel like when you see that AoE stun, you're like, oh my god, he's so amazing. But I mean, I feel like I heard Truth. Doesn't Truth really like this Gotenks, right? I feel like I hear him talking about it sometimes.
Yeah, dude, this Gotenks is like on the level of like some of the other really strong banner units, like Trunks and Goten, Garlic Jr. Like this Gotenks is up there with them for sure. But dude, you take him in the Super Battle Road, he wins the fight for you instantly. Like that can happen a lot. When he triple stuns the entire enemy team, it's insane.
I used him in SBR. I hit the enemy 10 times with the super and I didn't get a single stun.
Well, I mean, that's just simply a
Skill
skill issue,
issues.
buddy. That's crazy, because I took him in there and he stunned every enemy every run, and I won effortlessly.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those RNG units that we love so much, because I bigged him up a lot with this banner coming out, because obviously, we all love Super Battle Road. I was looking forward to using him. So far, before the start of this episode of the podcast, I've done 2 videos using him in Super Battle Road, and I've had a very similar experience to Goresh so far. Not getting the additional supers, not getting stuns. And so it's like,
Okay,
man,
buddy.
I bigged this guy up so much and he's just letting me down. So
Okay, I got an idea. Try him
you-
off camera, and then your luck will be better.
yeah, true.
No,
true.
you come back to me when Special Pose Super Battle Road comes out.
Yeah, now that, that
come
is
back,
gonna be...
Ningen. Yeah, we'll see.
yes.
We'll see how you feel about him then.
Oh yeah, I mean he's obviously he's going to be on the team for the no.
Yeah, you
run,
think
obviously.
he's gonna be on the team?
I think so. Yeah.
Even if you don't get the stun, I feel like he's still doing more than enough to warrant a spot on the team, because he's still doing so much damage when you think about how much he's doing, like with his AoE and the support. Like he's definitely good enough, even if he doesn't stun a single time. He's definitely
defensively,
worthy.
too.
If he gets some multiple supers, that's defense increase on every super. He
Yep.
starts to get really tanky.
Yeah, his defense can be very good. And the thing is, if you get because it's the AoE, like even if you're only stunning 1 or 2 enemies in a fight with 5 enemies, it's obviously still very, very useful. But yeah, he is a very solid unit. So I just wanted to very briefly talk about this guy, because he's a free-to-play card, but we also saw the release of the STR Frieza and the Undead Army. Obviously free-to-play, easy to farm up, get it maxed out. Is it worth rainbowing this card and actually using it? Minato, what do you think about this guy? I'm sure you farmed him up on JP.
Yeah, he's pretty good for a free to play unit. especially if you can get that guaranteed crit if you have the full, Revenge Extreme class, I believe, rotation right there. He's a support for Revenge. He's basically built to help you for that Revenge Extreme Super Battle Road stage. Oh, no, it's a normal Super Battle Road stage, my bad. And he also has a great chance to stun, I believe, so he's overall just a good unit for that team specifically. And I'm sure he'll help a lot of people out when that stage does eventually come to global. So definitely is worth farming up and rainbowing him, especially since if you have troubles with that stage specifically.
Yeah, 70% chance to stun definitely seems like it would be very useful for Super Battle Road. I feel like this unit is going to see maybe a bit of a glow up in the future if we get an actual new Revenge category leader that is an extreme unit, because obviously he's geared around being run with extreme units, and the only actual proper category leader for Revenge is a super type unit, which is one of Truth's favorite units in the game, AGL Bardock. So we need a new leader for Revenge, I think. But he definitely could be good in the future, and they didn't do that thing where they released him and gave him an EZA straight away, so he has the potential for growth in the future as well, which we love to see. So speaking of EZAs, we do have a couple coming up soon on Global, which is the LR Saiyaman 1 and 2 from an Extreme Z area, and then the Tech Pycon is going to get his EZA using the Int Gogeta EZA medals. So if you are so inclined, you can use keys to pre-farm that before the stage comes out if you don't want to waste stamina. So Truth, speaking from the JP perspective, LR Saiyaman 1 and 2, how good are they?
Well, you can't forget Angel Super Saiyan 3. He's coming too.
As far as I know, it's not been announced in the news yet for Global, but we're assuming that he will, right?
No,
I mean, we hope so.
He's coming.
It would be funny if he doesn't, though.
No, I'm stopping that talk right now. He's coming. All right, relax. And the Super Battle Road stages are too.
Oh wow!
Babies.
Okay.
They're coming.
They're coming. We had the right.
If they don't come, blame Truth.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's simple. They're coming. If they don't, you talk to me, man.
The what?
But the Great Saiyaman 1 and 2, they're really good. It's just that, like, those teams, Buu Saga, Movie Heroes, Defender of Justice, I feel like they're a really, really good option to bring when you're using those teams. Pycon, I've found, honestly, kind of sucks ass. Because, like, he's meant to be used on the Otherworld Warrior team. I mean, I was using him in the Legendary Vegeta event, and he gets cream pied. He gets obliterated. He sucks. He's terrible. I don't know what they were thinking with that Pycon. He like you'll use him, and it's like, oh, he seems like he's okay, but then like when it's serious time, he gets destroyed. He's not really that good. And then Angel Goku he's incredible, but just like Goresh mentioned with that LR Tech Gogeta, I don't like the 50% chance for the Rainbow Orbs, because it's just such a massive difference. Like when that turn, like that Super Saiyan 3 Goku, when he Rainbow Orb changes, he's like the best EZAT you are. He's dominant. But like if he doesn't Rainbow Orb change, he could look pretty mid.
Well, there you go. So they are coming up soon. So Minato, the Saiyaman 1 and 2, are you in agreement? Do you use him very much to this day? What do you think about him? Or them, I should say.
I feel like an issue with them is that they're on 5 teams, so I don't really tend to have too much opportunities to use them. But I really like them for Super Battle Road. Them giving 4 key and 50% defense is such a nice ability for super class allies. It's just unfortunate. Again, since they're not on too many teams, I don't really find myself using them too often. But I think they're a good unit overall. Definitely a unit you should go ahead and get EZA'd.
Okay, and they are an Extreme Z area, which everybody loves, but they are definitely very solid. Free-to-play unit. Good old Friend Summon LR. So 2 out of the 3 Friend Summon LRs have EZAs now, but the very first one to release, the androids, still sat there in the corner waiting. Do you think we'll see that anytime soon?
Hey, guess what? The Great Saiyaman 1 and 2 are a pretty good addition to the movie hero team that no one runs.
So there you go. New movie heroes lead when. So, but there you go. So in terms of what we know, this is what is coming up for Global as well as what has just released. So switching over to JP, Truth, I just wanted to very quickly get your thoughts since you weren't here last week. We won't spend a huge amount of time dwelling on this topic, but since you've obviously got him rainbowed and had some chance to use him, what are your thoughts on the AGL Dokkan Fest Trunks? Because I've seen people saying he's great. I've seen tweets saying he's the worst Dokkan Fest of 2021. What are your thoughts on AGL Trunks?
I think he's incredible. Like the more I use him, the more I really like him. I would say using him a lot on a lot of these teams, right? All these teams he's on, you're just running with all these Saiyan characters. I just don't know what in the hell they were thinking, giving him shocking speed over prepare for battle. It literally makes no sense. It's a huge detriment to him running him with characters like Super Vegeta, Namek Goku, characters like that, who you're gonna want to run. I think Trunks is one of the best units in the game. He's one of the best Dokkan Fest exclusives in the game. He's very powerful. I think that his design for the Super Saiyan form is like whoever designed him designed Super 17. It's the same type of thing where they just don't realize what their own game or something. Like I don't get it. If Trunks could just transform at the start, like if he could do it whenever he wanted, I think he'd probably be the best TUR because he would dominate across the entire game really hard. Because like think about if like you go into Super Battle Road turn 1, you could transform. You would stun and seal them, and then he's guaranteed critting, and he gets all those extra attack buffs because the enemy is stunned and sealed and debuffed and shit. Like he would be insane. But instead they're like, yeah, but you just can't take advantage of any of this because it's like turn 80 when you could do it. Very weird.
So yeah, is it something that you will? Do you actually manage to get the transformation much in Super Battle Road, which, like you say, arguably
no, I've never
the best place.
Never
to use
gotten
it.
in Super Battle Road once.
Wow. Well, there you go. So definitely
Literally,
a little bit strange.
All they had to do was make the transformation condition 5 instead of 6 attacks. I think that would have been perfect for him, and I wouldn't have any other complaints about him besides the prepare for battle thing. Because most of the time, you're getting 5 attacks off with the unit. Because the way his passive works is it still factors in the additional from the hidden potential system, right? So even if you don't get, well, I guess no, it wouldn't matter because you still need 5 attacks. So I mean, because I've seen a lot of gameplay with this Trunk, so I'm assuming you use super attack with like the normal super attack, right? And then he has the 2 chances for the additional normals, right? If you don't get both the normals, the odds are you're still going to get the hidden potential additional, which is going to proc that passive additional. So you're going to never see a turn where he does less than 4 attacks almost, is what I've seen from him.
I mean, from when using him, I feel the same exact way. Like in game, using him, I rarely like a 5 out of 100 chance. I rarely ever see him do actually just 2 attacks. I usually see him doing 4, even 5 attacks, even at 55%. It's absurd.
Yeah, 4 attacks I think is the least I've ever seen him do.
Wow. So there you go. He's certainly a polarizing unit, but you heard it here. High reviews from our boys here. So let us know what you guys think. There's a poll up right now. So we also have now, we talked about them a little bit before last week, but we had not had them drop in the game yet. We've had a whole collection of EZAs arrive on JP. So Tystra, we'll start off with you. The big one that has released that got everybody talking was, of course, the next Prime Battle LR EZA, which is the AGL Super Saiyan Trunks. So what are your thoughts on this guy? How good is his EZA compared to the other Prime Battle LRs? What do you think?
Comparatively, I think he's, in my honest opinion, he's better. I like his passive now with his EZA, especially since he's more geared, from what it looks like, more geared to go for longer events and more enemies, so Super Battle Road. But yeah, like, it's one of those things where I tell people all the time, because it's a free unit, you should definitely, like, take advantage of getting the unit done and then doing the EZA. Because, again, it's basically free. It just takes time. But yeah, he's definitely great. I think that he's something that people should go for.
And yeah, Minato, since you'll have used him, I assume, quite a bit now, what are your thoughts on Prime Battle Trunks?
I think he's good, actually. I like kind of like the design they had with the multiple enemies, he gets the 40% attack and defense. But then when he has a final blow, he also gets that 40% attack and defense. I don't think they're designed to get together. I think what the final blow is designed to be is like in long events, you potentially can get that off like maybe early on, and it'll help him be stronger in those long events since he won't be facing the multiple enemies. When I've used them, I found him very key sufficient. Like, I never like got 12 key with him outside if I really wanted to do it on purpose. He's on a lot of category teams. I would say the only thing I would really say about it is I feel like they could have bumped his stats up a little bit. Like, I feel like if they bumped it up like I don't know, like a good 30-40 extra percent maybe at like minimum, he would have been, it would have not been like game breaking or anything like that. But I like him for what he is. He's a very strong unit for Super Battle Road, and I definitely think you should farm him up.
And yeah, so Truth, in terms of Prime Battle LRs, does this guy come anywhere close to Goku or Frieza?
I mean, yeah, I he's probably better than Goku. I don't know about Frieza though. I think I probably like Frieza better. The only thing that's weird is I feel like the tech Trunks, that the sub EZA, is going to be a little bit better, I think, for like longer events and stuff like that. Whereas this LR Trunks will probably be a bit better in Super Battle Road. One thing with this LR Trunks is you really have to make it a priority for him to deal a finishing blow early in the fight, or else he's just not as impressive if he doesn't get that off, right? Like, that's huge. And that's why it's like, it's very, like, there's so many factors into that, right? Like, what if he starts out in slot 7, and then all of a sudden you're on, like, phase 4 of, like, the legendary Vegeta event, and, like, Trunks, like, it's not powered up, and he's not gonna be able to finish Vegeta off. Like, I don't know, like, there's just factors like that are annoying.
That is fair with him, especially with the fact that when you are comparing him to SDR Frieza Prime Battle, like, it's kind of hard to beat that one. So, but I think overall, like, just personally, like, he's not terrible. He's pretty good, but yeah, you definitely have to work around his weaknesses a little bit.
Even if you don't care about this Trunks, I would still recommend farming him, because if they go down the same path that they did for the Frieza, you're probably going to need this Trunks to get the Vegeta EZA. So,
Yep.
Yeah, so it's an interesting one because obviously they changed it up for this Trunks. You needed to use the Cell, who does not have an EZA yet. So do you think that is something we're going to see going forward, or are they going to keep changing it up?
I think they'll probably just do like every 2 or something. Like, you need Goku for Frieza, you need Trunks for Vegeta, and then it'll just start over after that.
Yeah, because it's definitely something we talked about in the past, the fact that if they just kept keeping up this cycle that every single Prime Battle LR EZA, you needed the previous one on the team, it means if you're starting from the beginning, that becomes an incredibly, ridiculously long process. Whereas at least now, if you are a newer player, you just need to do Cell. I mean, it's a whole bunch of free-to-play EZA units, but it's nowhere near as much of a struggle that if you had to have Prime Battle Frieza as the leader. So I guess we'll have to wait and see.
If you think
even if you
about
don't, I was gonna say, even if you don't want this Trunks, you don't care about this Trunks, like, if Vegeta comes out, he's like absolutely ridiculously overpowered. Like, don't complain when you don't have the trunk and you can't do it. So yeah.
If you think about it in a way, if you needed, say, the LR Frieza EZ8 for this guy, and it was such a longer, more tedious process, this guy or these future EZs could be ending up better as a result if that were the case, because it takes so much longer to get them. But I mean, that's just a little thought.
True. Because, yeah, technically it's a lot easier to get this guy than it is to get Frieza, for example, because Frieza, you obviously have to already go through the process of getting Goku and EZAing him, whereas to get Trunks, you just have to get Cell and then the other units on the team, so...
Yeah, the other thing, too, is that, like, Frieza, it's, like, a huge, like, I can't think of the phrase, but it's, like, it's not just a couple of units, but it's, like, that one unit needs, like, an EZA area done, and then there's, like, other units you need for that had other EZA areas, right? Whereas, like, Trunks, it's pretty simple. It's just like the Super Android 13 EZA area and then the future androids, and, like, you're good, right? I feel like that's why, like, Frieza's crazy because you have to grind up the entire game to get him, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Trunks, it's not, unfortunately. Like I think if you had to use Frieza for Trunks, I feel like Trunks would be way better.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Truth, you already mentioned the tech EZA Trunks in comparison to this guy, and he is on the list of units to talk about next. So why don't you tell us your thoughts on the Super Saiyan Trunks, the tech one, EZA?
I think Trunks, he's really good. I think he's really good. You know, he's got a nice Saiyan link set. Like he does a lot of like 4 million attack stats turn 1 with no support as like a sub EZA. He's rocking way over 200k defense, able to get up to 300k, 400k. He's good. The STR as a monster I think sucks. Like he's just I like with his link set and stuff like that. Like they can't just like okay he has to be below an HP threshold and the enemy's got to be this. Like, dude, I'm sorry, Rainbow Orb Change support. Like that's what a Zamasu needs to be, right? And doesn't that bother you? I feel like Goku Black and Zamasu should have like 6 out of 7 links, and they have Fear and Faith, Fierce Battle, and Dismal Future. Like they don't even work well together. It's so stupid.
Well, Goresh, I was going to ask you about Zamasu next, but yeah, what are your thoughts on the STR Zamasu EZA? Goresh?
I think Goresh just
He went to do something right.
Oh,
I'm here. What?
I didn't
was the
see
question?
that.
I put it in the chat. Though,
Yeah,
so.
sorry, I didn't see that. So you didn't hear, so good. You're coming back fresh. So what are your thoughts on the STR Zamasu EZA?
Oh, I don't care.
Yeah, he's
suck.
bad. That's the answer.
Well, there you go. Minato, did you have anything to add? I think you did the showcase for him for the 5-9 channel when he came out. So anything else to add about the STR Zamasu EZA?
There's not really. It's just that his partners are not really good. His link set's wonky, so even the partners that he does have, again, they're old and aged. And really, I tried my best. I actually tried him out a little, like Super Battle and stuff, and it's just hard to make him look good. I feel like almost. I agree with Truth. He should have been like a support type unit or something like that. And especially considering he released next to the Tech Trunks, which just came out. His EZA is insane. It's like. You look at Tech Trunks, he's so good so easily, and then this Zamasu takes so much setup, and just like, okay, you just clearly worse. I don't know what they're thinking, honestly.
Should have had like
70%
70% damage reduction and heal 15% per turn or something.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. Just make him crazy defensively.
Yeah, especially these units that don't necessarily link up super well or don't have that advantage already. It feels like they should probably push the boat out a little bit more when it comes to their abilities, but it's nice to see them get EZAs because that Tech Trunks is definitely one of those units that's he turns up in your multis every now and then, and he's was just at a point where it was basically unusable, so it's nice to see those kind of EZAs drop in. But so all right then, Goresh, I'll let you decide. We got 2 more EZAs to talk about. We got the STR Android 13 and the physical 14 and 15. You pick the one that you do care the most about to tell us about. So neither of them?
Goresh is just like, nah.
I mean, they're both good. I don't know. They're not impressive to me.
No?
No. I mean, 13 is fine. 14 and 15, I feel like they could have given them more. They don't really get a bunch of a buff from the EZA, right? That's it.
All right, so Truth, what do you think out of these two? Which one's the best? Which one do you like more? It's STR 13 or the physical 14 and 15?
Well, it's just like the 17 and 18. It's you have to, like, if you're gonna use them, you pretty much have to use them together. Like that's it. I personally, like, to me they're very egregious because it's like you're given very minuscule buffs, and it's like, dude, it's Android, target Goku, artificial life form. Like, can we just like suck their dick and make them insane, please? Like, I don't know why they have to go like minuscule for buffs that teams that don't get buffed, right? Like, it's like, okay, like, why is Yardrat Goku one of like the 3 best free-to-play units in the game, but the teams are so stacked, you have nowhere to run them. But then like at 13 and 14 and 15, they're like, okay, man, like, it's, we'll give them a little extra attack at the start of turn. It's good. Like, it's weird. Those characters should have been made way better. Like, even like the Super Saiyan Future Trunks, why did they make him way better than Zamasu? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because the 14 and 15, obviously they have they really had potential because they got that, seeing enemy super attacks. They had the nice way that they work with, obviously not just the free-to-play 13, but the actual Dokkan Fest one, because they have the two different abilities based on whichever form that Android 13 is in. But they had very much reached that point where they were not really usable anymore. So they definitely would have been quite nice to use on some of those teams if they'd received a much bigger buff. And the Yardrat Goku, like you said, is actually a really good example because he's just a random free-to-play unit that we got one day with a farmable event, and then he got an EZA, and his EZA is ridiculously good. So they can do that sometimes when they want to, but like you said, it seems weird that some of these units that are on these smaller teams that could really do with some buffs, because, I mean, I used to be a huge fan of the Android category, but it has been left wanting for quite some time, shall we say. So if they'd made these guys one of the best free-to-play units in the game, it would have been exciting to run that team again. But unfortunately,
in conclusion, they're all mid and boring. Let's move on.
Yep. All right, well, there you go. So, okay, so now we're moving into a bit of speculation territory because the only thing we do know upcoming very soon for JP is the EZA for the physical LR Trunks. So we're getting very close to being done with the original set of EZAs for the first lot of LRs. We only have Tech, Goku Black, and Zamasu left. So, physical LR Trunks is going to be getting his EZA soon. We do have a fan-made EZA card form up at the moment. So, if you guys want to check that out over on the Twitter, you can let us know your ideas for his EZA and potentially make it into the next fan-made cards video. But throwing it over to the guys actually here today, we'll start off with you, Minato. What would you like to see from physical Trunks' EZA?
Honestly, I think they should just give him guaranteed crits. just why not? Just make him very, very stupid. I mean, I feel like he has a lot of potential. Maybe give him stacking just permanently on his 18 key. Just raising defense by 30% permanently would be great. If they give him like the guaranteed crit and then they give him again defense to match attack, like 150% attack, then 120% defense, guaranteed crit with stacking defense. Maybe give him some other alternative to give key to himself just so he can make sure he gets those really high key, 24 key levels and stuff like that more consistently. That would be what I would ideally want at the bare minimum for him to get. I'm very interested to see because he's basically like a blank slate right now. So they can do a lot to him that maybe they can introduce some type of new passive for all we know. But I would like to see those things a lot, to be honest.
So, Truth, obviously, every time an LR gets an EZA now, this comparison will always come up. What would they have to do for this guy to make him at least close to the level of STR Broly?
Yeah, guaranteed crits would be a big thing, and man, I don't know. What if they gave him damage reduction against multiple enemies, like because he, against King Cold and Mecha Freezer or something like that, right? Like, the thing again that I feel like Dokkan, they don't realize that when they EZA the TURs, right? They give them a lot of extra parts of their passive and super attack effects, but they also get these massive stat increases that the LRs don't get. But I feel like Dokkan doesn't account for that, right? Like, you look at what Majin, Vegeta, and Gohan do, and it's like if they did that, but then they had an extra like the normal EZA jump in stats, they'd be great, right? Like that's what they need. So it's like I hope that Dokkan can realize this and give Trunks a lot more than what Gohan and Majin Vegeta got.
I'm ready for his
Gohan
whole
to
passive.
me feels. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm ready for his whole passive to be based on there being a wicked bloodline enemy.
Oh yeah.
Not necessarily the worst thing in the world as long as the rest of the passive is good, but yeah, I could definitely see that being a thing. And what do we think? So do you think you will see, well, I guess Wicked Bloodline seems like a weird choice. I was going to say, what do you think we'll see as the weakness category for his ECA? But I don't know if it would be Wicked Bloodline since he quite handily took care of the entire bloodline. So, yeah, true, future androids. All right, so yeah, that's something that we still don't really know too much about. Obviously, on the next episode, we should have more details to actually go over. But in the meantime, like I said, check out the Twitter post. Let us know your thoughts on what his card could look like, and keep an eye out for that video coming up very soon. So, the last thing we have to talk about now is, again, we're kind of in speculation territory, but we were talking briefly before the podcast started. And we know that Heroes is going to be coming. We've talked about that every episode for the last 4 or 5 episodes now, I think. But the problem is, Heroes, if it arrives around the same time as last year it dropped on the 19th. I think this year, if we compare it to at least going by global, if we compare it to the day that the Gogeta banner dropped, I think it's possible it could drop on Thursday the 18th. Don't know that for sure. But the big question is, especially when it comes to JP, what is going to happen in that time? So,
well, just because that's the day that the physical Trunks comes out, the 18th.
Yeah. So, because is it? Wait, what's the? I think it says 11. Oh, yeah, it's 11 days from now. So yeah, what is going to happen on JP between now and then? So, Truth, what are your thoughts? Because we discussed a few ideas before we started recording. So, let us know. What do you think? Are we going to see a part 2 LR? Are we going to see what's going to happen?
I don't know. I want to say there's not going to be a part 2 LR. There wasn't an LR in November last year. There was 2 years ago. It was God Goku. But 2 years ago, there wasn't an LR in October. So they typically do have sort of a period where there's not an LR coming up on one of these. But I don't know. I mean, again, it's 2 weeks until Trunks comes out, basically. So they're going to do something this week. I was wondering if, is Heroes going to drop this week? Probably not. Minato mentioned maybe that the Dragon Ball superhero movie stuff would be this week, which is certainly a possibility. Maybe a Dokkan Fest EZA, right? Future Gohan or Into Goku Black, one of them.
Yeah, Tystra, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, I'm hoping that it happens within the next 2 weeks or something. At least some sort of announcement that we can figure out. I don't think that they will do kind of like what Truth said. This is around the time when they don't do an LR as the secondary banner for JP. So I don't know. It's kind of difficult to tell. But I have to kind of agree with Truth on that.
So if we were to get a part 2 LR then for this celebration, what would you guys like to see the unit be? Minato, we'll start with you.
I would like to see, first, just adding on top of this, I would like to see Dokkan Fest EZA for the physical Future Gohan. And then on top of that, we get an LR Future Gohan that maybe exchanges into Trunks, where we get that, his Trunks' transformation scene in the anime. I don't think there's good animations for that in the game. So it'd be really cool to see something like that. A Future Gohan that exchanges into Trunks would be really cool for me. If there is a part 2 LR, I would say it's not too likely though, to be honest.
Okay, Goresh, what about you? What would you like to see as a part 2 LR for this Trunks celebration?
Well, because I think if they ever do a part 2, they might EZA the LR Agl androids. But they would also be a good option for a new summonable LR too. So one of those, either they EZA the existing ones, or they just put out a new summonable, LR Future 17 and 18. Well, actually, technically, the LR AGL one is not Future, so they could do that. They could EZA them and then do a summonable Future version of that unit.
Because they would be... Yeah, because the two of them together as with the actual brackets Future, I don't think we have a unit that's named that way, so they could work quite well together. Somebody mentioned it in the chat. I'm kind of surprised you didn't go with some form of Mecha Frieza or King Cold or both together.
Mecha Frieza, the character that was there just to show off Trunks. Great character.
Yeah, literally he's there just to set Trunks' power level to the audience easily, right?
Basically, yeah. Tystra, if it was up to you, what would you like to see for the part 2 LR, if there is one?
I'd probably have to go the same route as Minato with the Future Gohan, only because of the fact that I feel like he kind of deserves an LR at this point. The whole Dragon Ball fandom likes him, so I would definitely like to see an LR of that. I don't know if I would say do the not transformation, but the switch out for the Trunks is going to be 100% what they would go for, but that's a good idea. I'd be okay with that. But I'd also be perfectly fine with just a future Gohan LR. For an easy A, I would say they could do the physical Gohan as well, just to kind of give him a meta bump to kind of match up with everybody. But I can't really think of anybody else. Like, I don't think that they would do another LR androids like as another side LR for the second banner. So
Oh, yeah, someone raises a very interesting point in chat, and that is the one-armed Gohan. So obviously that was something that we didn't see in Dragon Ball games for quite a long time, and then it did finally happen in Legends. So I'm assuming whatever was, I don't know, putting them off or keeping them from doing that is not a thing anymore. Goresh, do you think we could actually see a one-armed future Gohan at some point in Dokkan now?
Maybe. Buchigiri was the game that started that. And then Legends just was like, all right, whatever, we'll just try it. And then they just did it without, like, they just like, all right, YOLO, and they just like threw it in. So I don't know if Dokkan wants to do that same approach or not, but I feel like because multiple games have done it at this point, they could probably just do it and not like make it a big deal.
Yeah, I feel like it's people want to see that, and like Minato said, I definitely have seen a lot of people talking about the want for the future Gohan that exchanges into Trunks with that whole Trunks going Super Saiyan for the first time animation. It probably would be a revival, I guess, a unit similar to the Goku and Vegeta, because now we've seen them opening up to revivals into exchange mechanic, essentially. So that definitely could be quite interesting. So,
I can't wait for the review.
Or they could just make it a support memory too. Yeah.
True.
I can't wait for the revived Soul Saga Goku into Super Saiyan Zoo Gohan, though, right?
Could be that could be kind of interesting seeing that animation in the game as well. And so Truth, we've mentioned a few things already. You did chime in a couple of times, but if you had to pick your unit for the Part 2 LR, what would you pick?
Yeah, it definitely would be like some sort of future Gohan and Trunks unit. It's like, I don't want them to do like a revival, like to switch into Trunks, so like you would have to die to see that like animation. But I mean, that would be a good animation to have in there, man. I'm just saying, that would be pretty sick. So.
I know. So it's so great to see like the level that the animations are on now, because obviously as a global player, fresh in that Tech Gogeta hype, it's it gets to the point where these animations are so good, like you see them and you kind of you say like, oh, it looks exactly like the anime, but really, especially when it comes to like the Gogeta ones, I mean, it looks better than the anime because of how old the movie is. So the seeing that future Trunks, everybody loves that scene. So seeing that in the game with the current quality of animations we have would be absolutely amazing. So, but there you go. We don't know what's going to happen. Like Minato did mention, there is the Dragon Ball Superhero tie-in thing, which they announced was coming in November, but we don't know anything about. In the past, when the Broly movie was first announced and they teased something in the game, it was basically just like a Raid EZA type thing, and that's all we got. So it could be something like that, or it could be something else. We'll have to wait and find out. So that is going to wrap it up for the topics that we have for this week. We are going to take a short break and then come back and answer a few questions from you guys. So make sure you drop your questions in the chat starting now and while we are away for the break, because I go down through, pick a bunch of them. So if you don't ask them now, it's going to be too late. So start putting your questions in the chat and we will be back very soon. Okay, welcome back. We are here to answer a few questions from the chat. There's an interesting one here. I don't know. We are getting a lot of new categories, which I think most people would agree. We kind of need to chill out with that. But we have an interesting question that says, what would you guys think about units that start to have 3 categories in their leader skill? This would help some of the categories with older leaders.
I mean, then they would just start making even more obscure categories, right?
Oh, God.
So I wouldn't like that.
What I would prefer, instead of having 3 categories per leader skill, is having some sort of incentive to running units that may be in both categories, like they get an additional buff. But outside of that, I feel like putting 3 category leaders on a unit, I mean, I'm not really I want to be like, oh my god, yes, we need that, you know? I'm just kind of mad about that.
I don't want to see 3 categories in a leader skill until they actually like get leaders for the categories that don't have a proper leader. Looking at you, World Tournament. So the moment I see that, then I'll be happy.
I'm just sick of the category meta. Like I don't care about it anymore.
Okay, so next up we have a question from Baked64, which says, do you think Gogeta will age better than Vegito, since as time goes on, Vegito will take more and more damage from normal attacks?
I mean, they're basically
I mean, it's certainly possible, but remember, I mean, Gogeta's transformation condition is not the best. So if you'd have, I mean, yes, like Gogeta himself will definitely work a little bit better in like 2 years than Vegito will. But the transformation condition, I still wish Gogeta just had the same one as Vegito, right? That would be so good.
I mean, I could see where it's coming from, especially with the possible Rainbow Orb changing there. You, again, like Truth said, the transformation condition for Vegito being better, though, that the thing is that you will always, when you need that, what is it, a 50% heal, you will have it, and that's such a strong ability to have in turn 4. So I don't know, and they both have damage reduction anyway, so it's not like, you know, Gogeta's defense is definitely higher, but I don't think it's gonna be like, oh, Vegito's gonna be taking way too much damage compared to Gogeta would be, for example. So that's just my opinion. I think they'll both age more or less kind of the same based on their different abilities that they have.
If Vegito is taking 200k from a normal, it's not like Gogeta is going to be taking double digits from the same normal attack, right?
Yep,
Exactly.
very true. Okay, so this is an interesting one from MPR Tony. He says, which EZA do you think would impact the game the most? Physical MVP 17 or STR Cooler?
Wait, what?
Which EZA, obviously when it eventually comes, would impact the game the most? Physical Android 17 or STR Cooler?
Cooler by like 500 times.
Cooler. I mean, yeah, dude, Cooler is on a lot of teams. 17. I've never really considered a Cooler EZA for obvious reasons. He's still good now, right? Like,
Yeah, I imagine
let me
his
just take a
his
look.
is probably quite a long way away, but
I just want to take a look at like Cooler's teams and stuff real fast. A Cooler EZA.
I can't believe somebody asked that.
I mean, yeah, Cooler. You know, movie bosses, terrifying conquerors, space traveling warriors is pretty good. Like if all of a sudden Cooler is like, you know, AGL full power Frieza level, I think that'd be pretty good. Yeah.
How about we get the Ink Goku Black EZA first?
yeah, that's we probably
like
should
that.
get out of the way first. Yeah, MVP 17 is definitely one that I'm looking forward to. But yeah, I feel like he definitely needs it a lot more than STR Cooler, who is still fairly usable nowadays. So. All right, so for the last one, this is an interesting one. This is from Sofa King, I think. I may have butchered that horribly, but I do apologize. What is the best aging unit in Dokkan, other than Tech Ulma Gohan, since everyone says him? That's probably a fair caveat there. So, other than Tech Gohan, who is the best aging unit in Dokkan? Truth, we'll start off with you.
Come on. But I just want to say before we even would you really even say Tech Ultimate Gohan is like age? Like, okay, yeah, the best aging unit is AGL UI Goku. Like, what constitutes aging?
And
I
it's like
think
she's
he's
only
over
a year old.
Yeah, he's what, 15 months old, something like that, 16.
Yeah, but that's like 7 years in Dokkan years, you know.
Yeah, but he's still like a relative to like units coming out now, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah, absolutely.
That's what's insane about it. I mean, one that's crazy is Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, right? Like the STR one. Still, it's like he's good now, like the way he was back then. Like, he still like fits the same role.
Yeah, any event that is 10 turns or less, he is still one of the best defensive units if he fits onto your team. So, well, how about units that are at least a lot older than Gohan, Goresh? Who do you think is a unit from at least 2 years ago who's still pretty good nowadays?
I mean, people usually bring up the 3-year anniversary units. I would agree with they age pretty well, right? Just trying to think.
Goresh took
Because
mine.
because
dang it.
you also can't talk about like easy A's because that's not fair, right? Like,
Yeah.
physical cooler aged pretty well. Like, yeah, because he's easy A. Right?
Yeah.
I think
Honestly, though, he honestly even before his easy A, he was still pretty good. So like, actually, he's a solid answer to that question. But now that he has an easy A, I don't know if I would put him in there. LR Count Khalifa aged pretty well.
Yep.
I think LR Bojack has aged pretty solid too.
Yeah, he's
yeah.
all right. Int Janemba, even though he has an easy A, I still think he's really good.
Okay, well, there you go. That's it's interesting, like you said. I mean, Gohan hasn't been out all that time, all that long, but I do definitely still see people saying that quite a lot because he's still very, very good in every event in the game. So, people either love him or hate him. So, yeah, there we go. So that is going to do it for today's episode. We're going to wrap this up nicely around the hour mark. So thanks to everybody who came out to watch the episode live. If you did come in late or even if you're just joining us now, the full episode will be uploaded onto the YouTube channel tomorrow. So make sure you check that out if you missed any of it. Some of us will hopefully be there in the premiere. You never know. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. This has been episode 58 of the Dokkan Battle Podcast. I have been your host, the Masked Ningen. Shout out and special thank you to my guests, Truth, Goresh, Tystra, and Minato. And make sure you are following us, subscribe to the YouTube, follow us on Twitter, all that good stuff. And we will see you all next time. Peace out.